Okay, so this is going to be my review of Exile on the Planet of the Apes. As you guys know, Boom Studios has been really rocking it with the Planet of the Apes comics, and I decided to, check out one of the comics that they had done, one of their miniseries that kind of are kind of like prequels, in a sense, of the original 1968 film. And they did two, I think they did, there's the ongoing, which is like set 500 years before the 68 film, and it kind of shows how, where apes and humans and how they kind of got to where they are at that point. But there were two other miniseries that kind of set up that did a little more closer to the film's continuity. Granted, it's like 18 years before it, but still, it's a little closer. So, the other one was called Betrayal of the Planet of the Apes. This one's called Exile on the Planet of the Apes. Now, Exile on the Planet of the Apes is a story where, pretty much like I said, 18 years before Taylor ever landed on, the Planet of the Apes, what is going on is that these humans are raiding camps close to Ape City. They're raiding villages and factories and whatnot, and they're actually organized. They're actually well organized, and as you guys most know who've seen the '68 film, humans in here are pretty much animalistic. They're very aggressive, very wild animals, and in here they're being organized, but not through voice. Humans can't talk in this continuity. Well, until Taylor, but humans have learned sign language, and one human in particular named Tren is kind of leading this group of humans. He's taught them how to sign. He's taught them a lot. But there's something else going on that a rogue guerrilla general called Alron has organized humans, and now he's pretty much leading them into not so much battle. He's trying to set up his own city where he can help the humans. But pretty much he's pretty much forced to raid these camps, for medicine and whatnot. And here's where we have our story. Now, we don't really see a lot of the human, we don't really see a lot of characters from the movies. We do get Dr. Zaius, we do get Dr. Zaius, and we do get some other characters in here, some lesser-known characters that are from the Ape continuity, but really Zaius is the only major character. The other two that show up in here are Julius from the film, the gorilla who is, Zira's assistant, Julius. And we also have Dr. Milo, who was from Escape from the Planet of the Apes, excuse me. So those are the only other two characters that you really see in here. You don't get Zira or Cornelius. You'd think you'd see them by now in this continuity, and this makes sense because this other character we have in here, called Dr. Priska, she's the one who trained Tren to sign language, but she thought he died in a conflict along with Alaron. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was like, why didn't you just use Zira? Because I actually thought until they said her name was Priska, I honestly thought it was I thought her name was Zira. Where they just, and it would make sense that she would do something, Zira would do this, and I was like, kind of feels like we're lacking something here without, Zira and Cornelius in here. I felt like it was a little lacking in that part of the story, really. But, what else did I want to say? Pretty much in this, throughout this story, it's very there's a lot of action in here, but the main thing is that it does kind of follow that whole drive of, the apes and humans are very much in the gray area. And Zaius is, Dr. Zaius is the keeper of the faith, and, member of the religious member of science on the Orangutan Council. And he's very much concerned about these raids because he knows from, from scriptures and texts that, humans are not to be trusted. Humans cannot be and should not be trusted. And he knows full well where these raids are going to be leading them. It's also kind of fun. It's also kind of interesting throughout this comic is that we have human sign languaging and learning how to use spears and guns, where it's very much like a reverse version of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where most of the apes know sign language and are starting to use guns and spears. And in here, and on humans, but in here it's the reverse opposite. It's the reverse with the apes with the apes already in control and whatnot, and the humans are learning sign language to communicate and start to use guns and spears as well. So I find it really funny that it had like a reverse Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but it was more like Dawn of the Planet of the Humans. Although, like I said, this is in the continuity of the original films, so it's you probably know how this goes. I don't want to spoil a lot for this comic. It is very fun. I would have to say, if you're a fan of the original Planet of the Apes films, this is definitely worth a look. I mean, I haven't checked out Betrayal yet, but Betrayal has a lot to do with this comic, and Betrayal is what I'm told is like the Marvel Comics Civil War, but in ape form. That's kind of how it was told to me. That's how it was that it was Civil War, but instead with apes. So I'm going to try to track down Betrayal of the Planet of the Apes. But like I said, if you're a fan of the original Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes film, and you've been loving the comics, I would say absolutely check this out. I'm talking to you, Bill. I'm talking to you, Zazubar, and every other Planet of the Apes fan. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Here's a big complaint, though. Artwork, story, characters are all really great. You can definitely, when I'm reading this, I can definitely hear Dr. Zaius, the actor who played Dr. Zaius' voice, whenever he talks in those little word bubbles. But here's my major gripe with this comic. It's 4 issues long. That's it, 4 issues long, and I feel like it should have been a little longer to flesh everything out, because it kind of ended real quickly at the end. And I feel like there was so much more to this comic, and I think this should have been at least 5 issues tops. I feel like there should have been one more episode to give it a little more to give it a little more pacing. That's the only major gripe here that I had, was that it had a bit of a problem with the pacing. Other than that, this was really good. So once again, I highly recommend this comic, and hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.